Describe your character Ella and the role that she plays in the unfolding of the story.
Well, when I read the script the first time, she was really the one character that I really I kind of got very attached really quickly because, you know, she's somebody who really doesn't come with one or any kind of other agenda. She just happens to live in Seattle where the protests are taking place, and she has to kind of through I don't want to give anything away, but through a huge sacrifice, she has to kind of revisit her lifestyle and kind of, you know, she's had this door open, this Pandora's box has kind of been lifted, and she like very much like myself, and I think a lot of people will go and see this film will kind of have that feeling of like, well, now that I know, I can't say that I don't know, you know, and so that kind of affects everything that you do, as it should. You know, you have to start asking more questions about where you shop and where things come from, and that's trade, and the WTO really kind of is designed to control that, and so it's really amazing what happened in Seattle, and that a movement like that could actually shut something like that.
Oh, and it's witnessed too in all the different perspectives that are shown in the movie, with the different marchers and the different union organizations and the laborers and you know, everybody that was involved in
that was what was so amazing, was to see people who, you know, who were there to, you know, protest. It was like, you know, like environmentalists next to, you know, older people and kids, and, you know, some kind of university student standing next to a, you know, an old man in a turtle suit. You know, it was this amazing vision of this visual image of people with very different passions and different agendas coming together and realizing that one affects the other one, and without standing up for the other one. And I think that's why labor joined, and so many other different groups joined, and they got together and all together as one accomplished the same thing that they all set out for in the first place. You know, I think that no story is a good story unless there's a human connection, you know, and I think that there's an incredible human connection when you watch this film. And if you threw all of the politics out the window, and if you took all of the issues out of it, and you just watched people struggle, I think that's something that we can all relate to. At the end of the day, we're just trying to survive, and we do it in different ways, and I think what happened in Seattle is just proof that we can't keep living in a world where we just don't understand the power of assembly, the power of saying, I know my vote, my voice alone might not change anything, but what would happen if we got on the internet and got a couple of people together and stood on a street and chanted, whose street, our street, and took power and said, you know what, we know that the government is supposed to work for us. And so, you know, if you're relentless like that, things will change. And I think that spirit comes through in this film. I mean, the third act of this film to me is, you know, you walk out and you're just like, anything is possible. I mean, if this happened and people could pull this off, can you imagine what we could pull off if we did more of that, and if we collectively stood together more and did that? I mean, that's some powerful stuff.